Hi guys, it's me, Amber. You can find me at Lady Amber Sky on Ravelry and Instagram, and welcome to the podcast. This is the Sky Castle podcast, and yeah, it's pretty short. So it's not been very long since I came back to you last, but I wanted to show you my acquisitions before I sent them home, because I went to that Dongdeamun shopping center, which was 5 floors of craft goodness, fabric, and notions, and all that kind of thing. So I wanted to share that with you and show you what I'm working on. There won't be a whole lot of what I'm working on because I have not gotten a whole lot done, but I am still working on things. I am still knitting, and I just did a lot of sightseeing this last week, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to knit other than on the train, which is a couple-hour train ride to and from Seoul, from where I am. But most of this stuff is going to actually be sent home with my husband's stuff, because as I've said before, he's been here for the last year, and so all of his household stuff is being sent home, and so I'm just going to sneak it into his stuff so that I don't have to carry it onto an airplane, because as you will see soon, there's quite a bit, and I have a stack of fabric as well, and that stuff's heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my works in progress. I have 2 today, and I'll hopefully be casting on more later, but for right now I at least have enough to deal with the plane ride home. So these are another pair of tube socks for kids by Jan Richmond. These are Knit Stroll Glimmer, which apparently they're getting rid of, which makes me really sad because I usually like to use these for heels, toes, cuffs. But one 50-gram ball is enough to do a pair of socks for my kids. Well, 1 pair per 50-gram ball. But this is Knit Stroll Glimmer. It's really not picking up the glimmer so much, but my son thinks they look like Chase socks, and I wanted to come home with a pair of socks for him, so I'm trying to get these done before the plane lands tomorrow. Which I'm almost there. I'm about halfway done. I don't have too much more to go, and then I can do the ribbing and bind off. But so that's what I have going on there. So nothing too interesting. And then I have another sock head hat for a friend of mine. This is in Felici, Knit Picks Felici Time Traveler. And it is turning out really cool, and I'm probably going to be jealous. But I have more at home. I actually bought 4 or 5 skeins of this when it was out, because it is no longer in the fingering weight in this colorway anymore. They have a whole brand new set of colors, which I'm really sad about, because I absolutely love this colorway and I want to get it a bunch more times. I want enough to make a hat and gloves and socks, and oh well. So there's that. And I showed you my finished project, my finished sock head hat the other day. But what I did differently on this one, I'm making this for a friend, and my friend's head is a couple inches smaller than mine, and so I went a half a needle size down to do the ribbing. And then she really likes a slouchy hat, so I went back to the bigger needles for the top part. That way it'll sit on her head. She likes to use slouchy heads more like a headband, so she wears them like up here. So I wanted to make sure that's going to stay on her head. And then my last interesting thing is my Exploding TARDIS yarn I am spinning. I don't know if you can see some of the colors down in there. There's yellow in here, right there. I'm not great at winding onto a bobbin or drop spindle, so excuse me if I did that wrong. But I just kind of get it on there. So that's that. And so my drop spindle is a Kromsky. As you can see that. There we go, Kromsky. And this fiber is by AJ Fibers. She's on Facebook, and it is really pretty. But it is the Exploding TARDIS colorway. And I got a whole nother bag of it. This is just what I'm working with right now. And that's it for my works in progress. I only have 3 things going right now. Now, I do have some stuff planned, and it's set aside and in bags to be cast on, but they've not been cast on yet. So I know that if I were to just show them to you, they're probably still going to be stuck in the corner and may not be picked up. I am also still working on my flax light sweater for my mother, but I haven't done any progress on it since I talked to you last, so I'm not getting it out of my suitcase because I leave tomorrow, so I'm trying to pack. Alright, but I do have one finished object for you, and it is Felici, Knit Picks Felici, Rainbow, another colorway I don't think that's available anymore. I knit these 2 at a time, toe up 2 at a time, magic loop, from the same skein of yarn. So I used a 50-gram ball of Felici. I had used my winder so it caked it up, and then I had a center pull ball, and so I used the center pull and I used the outside pull, which did make the stripes obviously go separate directions. So you can see the one sock goes orange, red, purple, and the other sock goes red, orange, yellow. So they do go in opposite directions. But my daughter loves things like that, so there we go. Those are for my daughter, which is why I'm doing another pair for my son, so that they both have a pair of socks that mommy made them, because they may only be 2 and 4, almost 3 and 5, but they love hand knit stuff. My son is very disappointed that he is outgrowing his sweater, so I need to make him another one, and my daughter is very disappointed that she's outgrowing her dress that's now a tunic that's getting really short because she's had it for like 2 years, but she's starting to outgrow the body of it, so I need to make her another one too. I asked them about colors, and my daughter finally picked colors for her new sweater, and I have that on order. And then I was talking to my son, and funny story, so I asked my son what color he wants because he really likes red. And so I was showing him Knit Picks pages of yarn that I think would work well with him, because I don't want it something that's not superwash, obviously. He's a boy. And he's looking at colors, and I was like, oh, what about this one, and what about this one? And then I showed him yarn I have to make my husband, so his daddy, a sweater, and he thought about that, and then he told me he wanted red. And then he looked at me and said, no, red means stop. Green means go. I want green. So apparently I'll be knitting him a green sweater. But I think that we decided, because he couldn't pick one, I think we decided that he is going to help me dye yarn for his sweater. So I have quite a bit of yarn at home because I am starting up a dye shop. And so I think I'm just going to let him use the crock pot or something simple, something easy for a kid to use. And I'm going to help him put the dye in. So we'll see how that turns out. Who knows? I should only take like 2, maybe 3 skeins of yarn for him. I don't even think it'll take that. It depends on if he wants a hood or not, because that takes up a lot of yarn. So yes, funny story for the day. There you go. So I'm going to go ahead and move on into acquisitions, because that's all I have. Literally all I have finished are those tube socks, and they only took me like 3 days to do. So yeah, I haven't been knitting a lot the last couple of days. I've been doing a lot of walking. So Dongdeamun, it's called Dongdeamun Shopping District on the maps, but it is way more than a shopping district. It is 5 floors of yarn and thread and fabric and drapery and notions and zippers and patches, and if it would normally be in like a craft store, it would be there. They did not have like drawing material or wood and things like that, but it was definitely all like maker stuff. So if you were to make something to sell, that's probably what is there. So it is really set up for for makers. I mean, it's like right across the street from the fashion district, so people will go, the people that are making the clothes in the little stores in the fashion district go over to Dongdeamun shopping district and grab their fabric and then make their things and then sell them across the street. Well, they can sell them anywhere, but that seems to be the majority of what goes on there. So I got so much stuff. I'm glad I can send it home with my husband. So I will start with the first purchase we had so my husband has started knitting, or learning to knit. I have gone over a lot of the science of the health and wellness of knitting, and he does have some stress level things because he is in the Army, and so I'm trying to give him things that the tools he needs to be able to deal with that, because that's how I deal with stress, and it's been proven that the chemicals that your body releases when you knit and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to teach him to knit. I actually finally got through to him because I gave him, for our wedding anniversary, our 17th wedding anniversary, I gave him a pair of socks that I knit in the colors of our wedding. Knit Picks hand painted stroll, I believe it is, has the Renaissance colorway, which we had a Renaissance wedding and those were our colors, so it worked out perfect. And he loved them, and he wore them for at least 24 hours straight, wouldn't take them off, and then I had to hand wash them, and then the next weekend he wore them again, because like I said, being in the Army, he can't wear anything but Army issued socks. So these particular socks he wears on the weekends, and yeah, he loved them. So he asked me how hard would it be to knit a pair of socks, and I think I told you the story last time, and so I'm teaching him to knit. And he has a little bit done, and so he picked out some sock yarn while we were at Dongdeamun, and this is what he picked. Lana Gato socks. It's orange and blue, and this light blue and green, and this was his favorite. This was his favorite out of what they had, and it is 75% wool, 25% nylon. So, yeah. And then I picked, because it was just so pretty, I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. Whoops. Oh, okay, there we go. Just the end of the string. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but it's this really pretty, like, silver and bronze and platinum and goldish color, and it's gorgeous, and I have 2 skeins of it. They're 40 grams each, I think. A lot of their smaller skeins were 40 grams and not 50 grams, which I don't quite understand, but I assume it's more the difference between like meters and yards. I don't know. But they were smaller than I was used to. Oh, these are 50 gram skeins. Blech, 50 gram skeins. But a lot of the ones that I saw were 40. But these are 50, and this is crochet line. And I guess I'm going to knit myself a purse or something. I don't know. But I loved it, so I had to get it. It is Ali's Miss Batik. 100% cotton. That is not focusing at all. Sorry, guys. Mercerized cotton. Yeah, mercerized cotton. So I got 2 balls of that. 2 balls of that. So if you have any ideas for crochet line cotton, let me know. And then I got so much of this, and I think I'm either going to ply this with itself and make a thicker yarn, or I am going to wait till I get a loom, because that is on my wish list for Christmas. I'm going to wait till I get a loom and then use this as my weft and warp. I think I need some coffee this morning. And then, so I got this, and it's a huge, I mean, guys, this is like as big as my head. It's a huge skein of a silvery gray, but it's like, that's 2 strands actually. It's like thread. But it was gorgeous, and it was like $2.50 for the entire skein. So I figured that can go in stash until I can figure out what to do with it. And then I got this gorgeous pink color. is not, there we go, that's probably close. It's a bright hot pink color, and to go with it, I got this bright blue color. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to apply them onto themselves and then knit something with it, or if I'm going to get my loom and weave with it. But they are both like thread weight. They're really, really thin, and really gorgeous. And actually, the blue one, we walked around B1, floor B1, so the first level of the basement. We walked around for like 2 hours. We were on one floor for 2 hours, and it's so easy to get lost there. So note to anybody that's going to go in the future, if you see something that you like, at least write down the number and letter of that stall, because I found some yarn that I really liked, and I had just gotten there, and so I tried to see what else was available before I tried to go get it, and it was like this blue and bronzy color, and it reminded me of Ravenclaw colors. My husband's Ravenclaw. I'm Slitherclaw. I'm Slytherin, but when I take the test, I'm like 92% Slytherin and like 90% Ravenclaw, which I'm not sure quite how the percentages work out, because then the next one's like 30% Gryffindor and 12% Hufflepuff, so I'm not sure exactly how those numbers all turn out, but I get really high numbers in both of those, so yeah, I consider myself a Slitherclaw then. So yeah, it was really, really pretty, and they had 2 skeins, full-size skeins of yarn, and I was going to get them and like knit a shawl or something for myself as my souvenir skein, and I couldn't find the stall. We probably walked around for another 45 minutes trying to look for the stall and could not find it, and we realized that you can't just go up and down the aisles and catch everything, because there are 3 different rooms and it's not straight shots, so it's set up like an L, and so we got so lost. Never did find those skeins, and by about the 3rd hour I didn't even care anymore. My feet hurt so bad. I had a backpack on my back that was like 20 pounds, and I'm very out of shape, so yeah, we went upstairs, and then people started closing up for lunch, and so they literally like close up their shop for lunch because it's just them. And so we went upstairs and we had lunch, which their food was really good. I've been really enjoying the Korean cuisine. I can't do spice so much because it gives me heartburn, but bulgogi has been one of my favorite ones. I've been eating a lot of beef, which I don't normally eat, but it's really, really good. So yeah, bulgogi, and I don't remember what the other thing is called, but it's been beef and it's like a beef salad. Sometimes they put broth on it, so it's like a beef salad soup, but it's really good. I know it sounds weird, but it's very, very, very good, and I have been eating really good food here, which is nice, because this last year I've had a hard time remembering to eat, having to chase toddlers, so yeah, it's been nice. Now that's it for yarn, but I'm going to show you my fabric acquisitions. These are all, I believe, 2-yard cuts. Down in B1 there were a few fabric shops that had pre-cut fabric, and that's pretty much what I stayed with, because I don't speak Korean, and it's a lot of hand motions and using the calculator to show what the price is, things like that, because you know the numbers are the same, and everything is in won, so you have to remember the conversion, and you have to bring won with you. Yeah, so these 2-yard cuts were like $3.50 each. Except for 1 or 2 of them, which I believe were $7, but they're canvas instead of cotton, so still like cheaper than you get at Joann's on 50% off. So I'm gonna start here. It's purple and it's a map. The Heart Island. I don't know. It has roses on it and like a compass rose, and yeah. that's the first one. This one I'm going to make into a project bag probably, and then of course I'll have leftovers, and I don't know what I'll do with that. But, isn't they cute? They're kitty cats. They're kitty cats with glasses, and the glasses almost look like mine. But I thought that was adorable. I may have to go get some lining fabric for a lot of this because there wasn't a lot of plain fabric. It was all like this. It was all printed fabric. And then here's some canvas. How cute is that? Panda bears. Again, probably going to be all these are probably going to end up being project bags or something to that effect because they are 2 yards, which is plenty to make extra bags. I may even put some up in my shop, but yeah. And then this is for my grandmother. So my kid's great-grandmother, my grandmother. Her birthday was right before I left, and I told her I'm not buying her anything because I'm going to Korea and I'm going to get her something special in Korea. So the plan is to get her a doll here because she collects dolls and special fabric from Korea. So there's that. And then this next set I bought to be together. So this will be a project bag. I specifically bought this because it's, Korean wear. And then here is what I'm going to use for lining. So that's what it looks like together. Ooh, there's a really bad glare. Sorry guys, I have no idea what's causing that glare. Oh, there we go, that's better. It must have been dust, sorry. It's really dusty here. So there is that. So this is my official souvenir item, is going to be this. And I just need to go get probably some cording or something to make a drawstring bag with it. It may end up being a drawstring bag and a zipper bag, and then because I've got 2 yards of it, so I may be making several bags with that and having a matching set. So we'll see what I can get out of it. And but yeah, that's my official souvenir DIY item. So that is all the crafting acquisitions. I did want to share a geeky acquisition, technically my husband's, but yeah, so we went to downtown Daegu, which is the city that we're in right now, and we found this, I guess you can call it a toy store. It's more like an action figure store, but it's not like what you would think of in the States. Everything was the quality I'm going to show you or higher, so prices in there started at like $50. And it's Marth. Oh, that's a really bad picture, sorry guys. Here's the box. So he's totally posable. He comes with his swords and a shield, different face plates. You can see he has 2 different face plates, this little smiley one and this little one. He's shield. Different hand poses so he can hold things, and he's even got a whoosh thing for his swords with a little blue whooshy part. You can clip onto the sword, and there are 3 swords. Yeah, 3 swords, a scabbard, 3 sets of hands, an extra faceplate, the blue whooshy thing, and the shield. So, yeah, oh, there's the blue whooshy thing, in case you can't figure out what I'm talking about, because I sound like a crazy person. But yeah, so that's Marth. And Marth is one of my favorite characters in Smash Brothers. Yeah, I know he's a Fire Emblem character, but Marth, I love them all. And no, I have not gotten to play Fire Emblem too much. But yeah, so I really like Marth. And we have the Orkiana Zelda or Link? I can't remember which Link. I think he has the face masks, so I think that's Okiana of Time, right? No, that's Majora's Mask. Oh, wow. I can hear the internet screaming at me right now. So it's Majora's Mask Link, and he's in the same chibi version like this, like Marth is. So I'm sure we are going to have epic battles of Marth and Link, because why not? My husband has the Fimo figures of Samus and Link, and they play out epic battle on his desk. So we're just adding to the collection. So yeah, so that was my geeky acquisition. I also got some little bitty, like, the quarter machines here are awesome. Well, they're not quarters, they're more like $1, but they're amazing, and you can get Pokemon out of them. And so I got a little Vaporeon, and I got a little Sleeping Pikachu, and they're adorable, and I'm kind of hoping that my husband has time to go to the mall and get a couple more balls, because they're really cool, and bring them home to me, because he doesn't leave for another week or so. So I leave tomorrow, and he leaves about a week from tomorrow, if all goes well, fingers crossed. So that's my short little podcast today. I know it is about half the time as usual, because I kind of blew through that, but I do need to pack and get ready to go and get to see my kids again. So, and it hasn't been a full 2 weeks, so I didn't have a whole lot to show you. But I hope you had fun with me today. Thank you for coming back if you are a returning viewer, and thank you for sticking with me if you are new. So thank you for hanging out with me today. Bye!